Um, okay, just remove that. Just remove that. Just go live. There we go. Save changes. There we go. So if anybody's just joining me on YouTube and stuff like that, I'm just doing readings right now of questions that have come in to me of people that have asked. So I just asked about a civil war in the United States, and I got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So the Nine of Pentacles being reversed, and that means, a negativity in the foundation. And then the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords. Hey, Lexi. So when it comes to civil unrest in the United States, absolutely, because there is going to be, working too hard towards goals without a proper payoff. But this is coming into some kind of imbalance. There's an imbalance within the states. And I mean, we're seeing it. You look on the news, you're hearing real estate agents are starving right now. You're seeing that people are unable to do things or to create what they are wanting to create. In the states, it's harder and harder. Um the stocks, everything expensive. So people are having a hard time. So there's a hard time and a hard things that are at play for those in the states. Now with that, we got the Knight of, coming in, and the Knight's coming in. Now he's passionate. So there's going to be a passion that comes forward. The Knight of Wands is like the epitome of that Italian lover, that one who wants to, very exuberant. So in making the changes, you're going to have people who are very exuberant. I want to make the change. I'm coming forth. I got a path. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. And it's going to be becoming very prevalent. So and especially when you are feeling distraught and you are feeling heartbroken, there's this resurgent of saying, no, I really want to make something fabulous again. So there's this urge to create something fabulous, something great, but might be having a hard time doing it because you're feeling heartache, you're feeling overwhelmed, there is an imbalance, but he is coming in to I wouldn't say the Knight of Wands is to come in to save the day. That's definitely not the save of the day. Yeah, because there is a fight on your hands. You got double nines. You got one reversed, one up. So there is something coming to an end. Something that needs to have this change that's coming in. And the change is that you got to really stand the ground that you believe in. So with this is standing the ground of what you believe in. Standing up for what you believe in. And it's knowing that there is going to be backing, there is a wall there, so there is a boundaries are going to be drawn. People are going to say, no, um I'm not doing this. I was just watching his name is Peter, and he does he travels all over the world, and he's been traveling. He's an American, but he's in Massachusetts right now and traveling through Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is one of the states that is it's a freedom state. Like, you can go there and claim asylum. And they're just showing how these little towns are kicking out people who've lived in these motels, right? And kicking them out and bringing in asylum seekers and setting them up in these hotels and everything being paid for and stuff. And how that's causing disruptions in the city, how it's causing, and this is like locals. And when you're talking to a lot of these locals, and when he's going down, this guy's like down roots, talking to the average Joe, going into local diners, talking to people, and they're willing to talk to you. They're wanting to, tell their, what their thoughts and their feelings are, because they're not being heard. Now, when people are not being heard, of course, that's going to cause heartache. That's going to cause disruption there, right? And it's going to bring in some kind of crazy, passion, because you want to bring in the balance. You want to bring in, that substance into your life. And when it's not there, that's when people are like, the local people are saying, Nick, yeah, you want to come to the United States? Cool. Do it legally. Be transparent. Don't hide shit. And that's, well, it's not only in the States, but we're just seeing now in the UK where the prime minister is basically getting thrown out. He hasn't been there very long, but there's a disruption, right? There's a disruption in it all. There's a disruption in all of the governmental in the Western world. Like there's these disruptions that, because they're not being transparent, they're not being truthful. And that's key to situations. So definitely is there going to be a civil war? I think there's going to be civil unrest. I think there's going to be some kind of rising with people coming up to the passion and drawing the line and saying, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. All right. Okay. Another question that I had. I love people ask me is Canada going to go to war? I think we're already in the war. We see that, but is Canada going to be fully participating where we are going to, I guess, conscription? Is Canada going to do conscription? Let's find out. And if you do have a question, just type it up too, and I'll pull some cards for that. I'm just asking world affair kind of questions that are coming up. Oh, well, we get the King of Cups reversed. So, I mean, he's a hippy dippy king. He goes by his emotions. He goes by how he wants to react to things. He trusts in his intellect. So there's something to do with things aren't coming to truth. So there's some kind of not truth. I get not truth. So with the king being reversed, there's something, when he wants to come in and do the right thing, but there's something there that's saying this. The law that's in control are not going to be doing things on the up and up. I mean, if the king was upright, it would be like, no, we're not going to go to war. Things are great. Things are, he's very sensitive. He's very, intuitive. He wants to move forward. But when he's reversed, this is deception, manipulation, and there's a lot of mishandling of information coming through. And with that, again, I get the 9 of Pentacles reversed. So there's definitely an imbalance that's coming in that's going to happen with Canada and entering into the war. So there's going to be probably a lot of people protesting. A lot of people aren't going to agree with what's going to happen. And with that, there's going to be a need for coming into more love, more understanding, and with it. But definitely an imbalance in it all. Definitely, they're not going to create what we want to create. And yeah, we get the 3. It's going to bring in disharmony. So there's disharmony that's coming in with this all. So when it comes to Canada entering the war, Canada there's going to be some kind of disharmony that's going to happen. I don't know if it's fully, because the 3 was reversed. So with the 3 of Swords being reversed, it's not really going to be, I just get underhanded. So things aren't going to be on the up and up with things. Yeah, because the swords are nasty cards sometimes. We will be coming out of some kind of emerging from with the imbalance, but with the 3 reverse, that means there's something that we're coming out of. So we're coming out of some kind of imbalance, some kind of thing. So there could be some really, light at the end of the tunnel for Canadians, which would be very nice. I think, but through it, it's going to cause, where people are going to not agree or not want to do that. So I don't know fully if conscription will happen in Canada. But I think there's something that's going to happen that's going to bring in the imbalance and the unjust with that. So All right, let's see what else I can answer. Hope this is making all sense to you all. I was cooking breakfast with Kyle. With Kyle. So Kyle's cooking breakfast too. What are you doing today? I saw that I was trying to get on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't click live right away for YouTube and stuff. And just started chatting away. The other question that I get from people is about the election. And I'm going to wait till after. I mean, when it comes to the election, I mean, there's a lot there. I think there's going to be, a lot. There's a lot at play right now, and more information is coming out about assassination attempts against President Trump, which is very interesting. So they're really wanting to get him out of the game. They don't want him in the game. So between now and when election day is, I think it's November 5th, there's a lot there's a lot of water running. So there's a lot of currents that are coming in that are trying to change opinions and stuff. So, but I will draw a card for Trump. He's going through some hard placements in his chart too. Whoo, we got, what is it with nines? We got the 9 of Cups reversed. Not all the wishes will be coming true. I mean, the 9 of Cups is wishes be filled. So I don't think all his wishes are going to be fulfilled. So there could be something really happening or tragedy that happens between now and November 5th with the election, because it's not going to turn out the way that he would like it to turn out. So there's some things that are at play. The cups are coming in. So the cups are saying that there's a lot of emotion with what's happening on the world front, right? There's a lot of, people's emotions, people's heartstrings are being pulled in many different directions, from the economy to things to do with the war to relationships, and just trying to create a world for themselves, right? There is so much at play that's happening. There's a couple that I watch that are wanting, they're from the UK, and they're van lifers, and they're wanting to bring their van over to the United States and do a whole trip through the states this coming year. I think they want to do it quite soon, but it's interesting, looking at the astrology and looking at what they are wanting to do. And I mean, living your life, yeah, definitely is going to be an important one. Um and really watching how your heartstrings are getting pulled, right? That's huge. And with Trump with the 9 of Cups, I mean, that's one card you don't want reversed, because There's greed that comes in. This whole Diddy thing is coming in, and I guess Trump's being implicated in it. So is Kamala Harris being implicated in this. Um, I really can't just I know my brain is going to somewhere I don't want to have a visual of. I can see Trump at a freak out. I don't know. It's just not what I see. I can see Kamala Harris there, but it's just I think there's association that comes in there, but I think there's going to be disillusionment, and there's something there. Um, this is beyond physical wealth and stability. There might be an emotional lack, of desire to do it. Um, I mean, the one thing is like when you get constant threats on your life and someone trying to kill you, um, supposedly there's been 3 attempts now. It's, getting up there every single time and doing it. I mean, there's also, in making these attempts, I mean, it's making it where some people might be afraid to go to the rallies. But I feel like this is more where you got to get standing up more and more and be seen. So, not, I don't, I think, I know he's going to make it to the election day. How it's going to turn out is going to be anyone's, still, what's going to happen. Yeah. And there's, through other sources that I follow, there's also other plans to assassinate him. There's at least another 3 or 4 other attempts that are being planned that they are uncovering. So, I mean, because they're starting to take this serious, because it's like, how many times can the CIA fuck up, right? With everything. And that's the whole thing, because it's the each person has had some sort of an alignment with the CIA, some kind of crazy shit, right? Right up to the last guy who was on the golf course. So that's at play. That's the type of things that are at play right now. And it is where a lot, a lot of animosity, a lot of fear is really rising up for a lot of people. So it's going to be interesting. Being at the mall yesterday, there's, Chinook Mall's a funny mall. Anyways, where our store is, where the store that I'm working with in my Muggle world, um, that part of the mall is never busy. It's just not a busy part of the mall. You have parts of the mall that are really busy, and there's usually one part or so that's not busy, and that's because it has a candy store, which is, I think it's a weird candy store. I don't know. Yeah, it's a candy store. There's a Japanese store there, Token or something. Bell Mobility, Virgin, and I think Fido's down there. Claire is down there. But right next to us is Louis Vuitton. And no, yeah, Louis Vuitton the store is very big and how it wraps around. It's a gorgeous looking store right there. It's sort of on the corner in the mall. And so as you go around the corner, you wouldn't know that our store begins, kind of thing. So, but it's just in a weird spot. But anyways, I digress. I'm going from Trump to this. But I've noticed is yesterday, yes, it was busy in the mall. Um, Starbucks, of course, was really busy. I mean, because they're not only getting everybody who works in the mall that call in their orders and stuff like that and get their orders made, but it's also um some stores were like they were busy, but I don't think they were busy to the extent of what a usual Saturday is. Now, that could be that people are still paying off the schools, paying off, kids going back to hockey and other things like that. So it's interesting to really uh just to witness how things are going. So yeah, so when it comes to the economy, I I know there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to certain things, but it just there's something there. So that's sort of kind of crazy. Anyways, back to the questions. Losing, I'm digressing. I'm losing you guys. So, is there anybody have a question out there or not? So I was supposed to be at a market today. I did put my application in, or sent in my information. Just didn't send in my payment. And they said they would let me know if all the spots were taken and stuff. So I finally got I wrote and I asked about if all the spots were taken, and I found out late Saturday that they're all taken. So, which is fine because I didn't send in my payment. And then I'm thinking, because it would have been Owen probably could have taken me there, but it would have been me trying to find a way home, which would be either an Uber or the bus. So, and getting home and stuff like that. So just a little bit of a pain in the butt. But I hope they do well. I hope the vendors do well. I always hope the vendors do well on those types of things. I really do. Right? Yeah, I wasn't meant to go. Plus my hip and stuff, and I got to take the DOG for her thing today around our block. So alrighty, didn't have anything in mind. All right. Well, let's ask about the markets, right? So how do you think the markets are going to go for this year? Do you think the markets, the holiday markets or the witchy markets, expos are going to do well? I can't make this shit up. I got the 5 of Cups. It's not going to be what they expect. They're expecting something. So it's 5 of Cups. You're focusing on the wrong things. So it's not going to be what people expect them to be, or they're not going to get what they expect. So there's an expectation. And I think part of that expectation is going back, well, this is the way that we've always done it. This is the way. So hanging on to the old ways of doing things. I know there's big ones that are happening in the States. I think they got like the Conscious Expo and things like that. So we'll see how things, pan out, but it's not going to be what people expect it to be. So they're not going to be the way that they would like them to be, or I don't think the people who are marketing them or having them are going to get what they want. So there's some elements that are going to be missing with them. And with that, yeah, I get so there's a lack, if especially if there's supposed to be a spiritual, there's a lack of spirituality, or there's something lacking there for the emperor, for the the Hierophant to come in reversed. So there's something lacking. There's a lack of spirituality. And I was listening to who was it? I know. Somebody on TikTok. Anyways, he was talking about our leaders, and our leaders are children, and he was pegging on Trudeau. And he said, until we come to a belief, or come back to our spiritual base and come back to our practices, all right, and really come in, because a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I believe I'm in the fall equinox, I'm doing my ceremony. It's like, cool, but are you carrying that through to your everyday life? Right? So it's like, when people used to complain, oh, well, you go to church on Sunday and you sin on Monday, right? So that's how I feel, that's how he was explaining it, where because it's children voting for the children, like you're voting for the child, so you are the child. So remember that your government is a reflection of you. Who you are voting for is a reflection of you. So what is going on? There's that reflection. And when you are lacking in that spiritual sense, when you are lacking in it, then you are allowing for whatever craziness to happen. When you are not connected with your divine, or you are not creating that community within that divineness, then what happens is a disillusion, an upset, right? And I think for many of the, like, we'll go back to the markets, that they're wanting to have them, but there's a lack of spiritual contents that comes in with that. And that's a real big um, piece to it. That's really a big part of it, because when you are wanting to go to, say, a pagan market or a witchy market, or even some of the craft, like, you want to have some sort of, yes, you want to make money, but you also want to have some kind of community. You want to feel good when you enter, right? And you want to have some kind of positivity. So, what about small businesses? Oh, so you're asking basically about your business, Charlene. So, small businesses. So many thoughts come into my head. Small businesses. You got to have strength when it comes to small businesses. You got to have strength and determination to make it work, and ingenuity. So if you're opening a small business, if you're doing a small business, you really have to have that determination with, when the lion comes in. Now, the 8th card is ruled by, well, this is a Leo card, but it's about self-mastery, skill, restraint, in doing what you're going to do. So you got to have to harness your energy. If you are doing a small business, you really have to really focus on the energy that you want to put into it and how that looks. And if you ever watched anything to do with people putting up their business in Etsy, they have, of course, the 4 quarters, right? And they're just entering into the last quarter, so Q4. And what they do is that they're not only looking at Q4, but they're also looking at what's happening in Q1 and Q2, right? Because Q4, when it comes to self-determination, when it comes to your business, right? You really need to look at how you are, how you're promoting it. What is your stamina when it comes into what is it that you want to create? So definitely you need the strength with it. Along with the strength, we're getting major arcanas with business, because small business is what runs a country, right? It is that sweat and tears that people put their into it, because it builds the community, right? But here we have the judgment card, and it's reversed. So yeah, you got to have the determination. But when the judgment card is reversed, right? This is Pluto. This is a Pluto card, because it's the death and resurrection, right? So this is where there's going to be having to face a lot of inner truth when it comes to the business, facing the inner truth. So this is where, yeah, you got to have the strength and determination, but this is where that burden there's a burden in some way. Is that burden worth carrying through? Is what is happening within the businesses worth carrying through with everything, right? And perhaps you have to, there's a procrastinating, or you're experiencing some kind of self-doubt with it, cause and effect, right? So this is where to really be aware of what's happening. And with that, there could be prosperity. There could be some abundance that comes in with some small businesses. I'm not going to say all small businesses, but you got to be creative with this. So when it comes to it, because this is the basis. This is the major stuff, right? This is the major arcanas. This is the major one. This is the filler. Bringing in the abundance, bringing in the beauty, bringing in the things, but you got to have the determination and the strength to do it, and you got to come into the truth, because if you don't have that balance to make it happen, what could happen is, yeah, if you're not following the truth and the intuition and the passion, it's not going to work, or it could work. So each business has to be evaluated on its own essence, on its own partisan, and looked at it truthfully, right? And that's the whole thing, because a lot of times when people are opening their business, that's their baby, that's their blood, sweat, and tears, and they don't want it to fail, right? They don't want things to fall apart. But if your business, when it comes to the truth, coming into the truth, when you sit down for your Q4 and you haven't planned out Q4 yet, with whatever business you're doing. Now I'm even taking where I'm working, where it's like, yeah, we just wanted the thing open, but first of all, you don't have any of the new stuff in there. You don't, there's a lot of missing factors with it all, right? So, and I'm going to go back to the Etsy plan, because when you follow somebody who's making money on Etsy, they're making it their business. Like, they're making it that they are looking at what works, what doesn't work, what's selling, what isn't selling. They're looking at what's coming up in the next quarter. So it's like, if you look at what are the holidays that are coming up in the next quarter, are you doing anything for them? So let's say you got a restaurant. So what's coming up in the next quarter? So what's the big thing that happens in fall? Pumpkin spice. Okay. Pumpkin spice is $1 billion industry. Are you doing anything with pumpkin spice? Are you having a special pumpkin spice drink? Are you doing a pumpkin spice pie that's really unique to your restaurant? Are you having a pumpkin soup and you're serving them in little gourds or something like that? So something that's unique to your restaurant, right? And wanting to really promote it, to make it to make it unique, right? To bring people in. One of the places I follow that has a small store that she just opened up, revamped her whole window, right? And she has the pumpkins in there and all the kind of little things. It's a little witchy store, right? And it looks fabulous. But she really knew that, okay, the spring equinox is today, but I want to make sure that I am flowing into that season to make those things happen. And what are the things I'm bringing in? And that's the whole thing, is that if you're owning a store, feels like I'm doing a business class. It doesn't matter what the store is. If you're owning a store, you have to have something new in stock. And then you got to have something that is part of the season that's coming in. So if you're having a clothing store or something, having, cute little things that have to do with Halloween or ghosts or things like that, right? That's really cool to have. Pins are really trendy right now. So having little pins, having little witchy things, I've noticed that one of the stores that I buy my clothes from, they got cute little witchy things that they just brought in. So things like that. And you got to be thinking like that. And that's going to give you that strength. But you got to be honest. It's this honesty that comes in, because Pluto is the death and resurrection. He's coming in. The Leo's coming in strong. Here I am. I want to be seen. I got the strength. I got the determination. Pluto then comes in. He says, okay, you got the strength and determination, but do you have everything that you need to go forward? And for any small business, you got to make sure you got stock coming in and stock going out. If you don't have the stuff going out and if you are not making a profit, then you got some real, balancing that you have to look at. And breaking even is very important within when it comes to a small business. So when it comes to small business, it's really where people have to be honest with what's going on, and looking at things in new ways, or looking at new things in inventive ways, making sure that they're up on what they have to do and the marketing that they have to do in order to create their abundance, right? And that's very important. So hope that answered the question. So any last questions or anything like that from anyone before I part here? Now, if you are on my Facebook page, I can't see your questions. Unless you join me on, let me see. I don't see any questions on Facebook. Do I have any questions on the YouTube? Any questions over here? Nobody's asking any questions? Okay. Wow. There you guys go. Have a blessed one. And have a great day, everyone. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all you be and all you do. And enjoy your day. The sun is coming out here, so looks like it's going to be a nice day. So have a great one. And we're going to talk to you guys all soon. All right. Have a blessed one.